Pissing our pants yet?
Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome to another Walking Dead Season 7 vlog to hype up for the Season 7 premiere on October 23rd, which is now official with the release of the trailer. Last week I gave you guys a breakdown of that and a bit of an analysis. This video is going to be talking about some things that I was kind of disappointed with in terms of the Season 6 finale, other than the fact that it was a cliffhanger. I have decided to reserve judgment on the cliffhanger as a whole until the Season 7 premiere occurs. So then I can truly say if it was worth it, if the cliffhanger was a good idea. I was obviously quick to judge it and say that it was a poor directing choice and a poor choice of storytelling. However, I've heard Kirkman and Gimple defend this thing. Andrew Lincoln, the major actors, defend this thing, saying that it would have dwarfed Jeffrey Dean Morgan's appearance as Negan. It wasn't about the death. It was about tearing Rick Grimes down. There's a whole bunch of ways that they've been spinning this. They've been trying to spin it that they want to deliver a Season 7 premiere that justifies it. Okay. I'm mainly going with that last one, Gimple. Justify us with that Season 7 premiere, and then I'll forgive you. Like, this better be the best fucking Walking Dead episode of all 6 seasons that you guys have ever fucking put out. And since Greg Nicotero is directing it, I have high hopes, because he does a great job directing episodes, as we've seen before. He's directed some of the best episodes of the series. That's just all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to reserve judgment on the cliffhanger and what I think about it. I obviously made a review video right after watching the finale, and I kind of had to vent off some rage, because in the moment, I think for everybody, just having the unfinished business of who died, like, everyone was very, and I do think that's one thing that was unacceptable. Everyone was wrapped up in the moment, just the stress of you feeling like this. The producer said that, oh, you feel like you're in that lineup, you're one of those people. Well, my stress of being in that lineup is not relieved. It's like you left me hanging at the altar, and I'm just kind of, I have these feelings of anxiety and fear and just absolute dread, and it's like someone froze me in place, but they didn't really freeze me in place, because I'm still operating here. I'm still fucking, running around, and that's really not the case. So basically, I have to reserve my judgment. Again, in the moment, I was pissed off about that, and I really wanted there to be some sort of formal resolution to The Walking Dead Season 6 finale, as I originally thought there should be. Now, the main purpose of this video is not to talk about that, but I did want to say that because some people have messaged me and said, oh, what do you think about the cliffhanger, with the Season 7, like, what do you think, what are your predictions, blah, blah, blah. Again, that I'm reserving. I already made one video that's in a playlist I'm going to put, where I kind of tell you guys who I think it's going to be. Maybe they might throw a curveball. I've heard rumors that maybe 2 people might die. I do have a video on my channel where I make a pretty strong case for why I think it's Glenn, who originally, like the person in Season 6 who is getting smashed, who we see from first person. I make a pretty strong case that I think it's Glenn, based on audio, not visuals, audio alone, that you hear when he gets smashed by the baseball bat. There's audio, and if you turn up the volume, and even just watching it regularly, you can hear it. I make a pretty strong case. I'll put that video link in the description. Now, how many people were swayed? Actually, I was surprised, because a lot of comments, people were saying, no, I still think it's Abraham, or I think it's this person, or whatever. I was like, wow, okay. I mean, I guess maybe I'm just going crazy listening to here. I mean, only one person in this series would say Maggie as they're getting hit by that fucking baseball bat. Considering Maggie is Glenn's wife, I don't know who else would be saying that. That's like Rick saying Carl when he's getting smashed. But obviously, he's the main character, so I think he's safe. But anyway, one thing I wanted to say in this video, pretty quick, won't be too long, but I did want to voice it, because this was something else that I was angry about. When I took it upon myself to watch that finale and watch Negan's performance and Jeffrey Dean Morgan play that character, the swearing was something that I was very frustrated about, because there was a apparent lack of it everything but one word, the F word, F-U-C-K, fuck, which is considered probably one of the strongest curse words other than the C word, C-U-N-T, both of which I've said numerous times because obviously I'm older and use mature language. And The Walking Dead is a mature rated show, and I feel like the show needs to use that kind of language, and the only time the F word has ever been uttered is not on cable. It's been in a Blu-ray at the end of Season 4 where Rick says they're screwing with the wrong people. He really says they're fucking with the wrong people, and you can only see that in the Blu-ray extended version for Season 4. Unfortunate. It's on YouTube as well if you want to find it. But for Season 6, I've said this to people, Negan has two huge characteristics that make him who he is. He has a baseball bat with barbed wire, and he's a tyrannical king. He's amassed a huge army, he's a badass, and he knows it. The second trope is that he swears and uses offensive language to get his points across and comes up with some pretty fucking creative dialogue because of it. His use of I consider his use of the word fuck to be an artistic ability. And I don't say that about many people, because obviously it'll be thrown in there for comedic value every once in a while, okay? But there are some lines in the comics, okay, that are some of the funniest lines I have ever seen given to a character in any form of entertainment. And I make that statement very, boldly. Of all the things I've seen, I make that statement, okay? It's crazy, some of the things he says, and I'm actually going to have a photo reel as I'm speaking. You guys will see this. Comic spoilers if, you don't want to be spoiled. But these are some of the funniest lines that this guy has where he uses the F word, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious, the lines. And not even hearing it. You could read this on the comic page and just laugh out loud. And it got me wondering for years, how is AMC going to convert this, and how are we going to hear it for ourselves? Well, I was hoping and praying, once we got to the reveal that Jeffrey Dean Morgan was going to play Negan, and that Negan was coming at the end of Season 6, I was like, man, they better put at least one F word in, or they better let it slip just for the finale, come on. Walking Dead is the most popular show on television for cable, and it makes AMC so much money. Like, come on, if they didn't have The Walking Dead, what would they really have? Like, Breaking Bad is done, and their other shows don't get nearly as many ratings as The Walking Dead, even Fear the Walking Dead. So, yeah, I don't understand why they can't be a little lenient. Because in the zombie apocalypse, I'm pretty sure people would be saying the F word a lot. And that's why Robert Kirkman includes it, because it's not just Negan who says the F word. Lots of other characters. I think Carl even says the F word in the comics. There's many times, many characters use offensive language because it's the zombie apocalypse and all rules have kind of gone out the window with characters using weapons and killing, just things we've seen in this show. So I think that using swears is not a big deal, and it shouldn't have been censored by AMC. But in the finale, the F words are taken out, and I honestly feel like it takes away from the performance. Like, I enjoy Jeffrey Dean Morgan's performance, even without the swears. But not having them takes away. I felt it when I watched that finale. And you saw my reactions probably where I was tensing up at certain lines because I knew that there was an F word that was in there, but that they took out. And I felt like it took away from the performance. And I feel like I would have been on the edge of my, dying on the edge of my seat, just loving the fear, but also the comedy because of the lines that he drops. And all is not lost because in the Season 6 Blu-ray, which comes out at the end of August, the full version of his speech, his 11-minute monologue, will be extended and have every single F word that was in the comics. And Greg Nicotero smartly put that in because I feel that he and probably Jeffrey Dean Morgan knew that that was how Negan's supposed to be portrayed. That is the true version that we were supposed to get. The one we got was a watered down one because AMC are a bunch of cunts. Yeah, that's a good word to describe them. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, this is why it should have been on HBO." Well, I think HBO passed up this show because of violence, ironically, which is weird because Game of Thrones is more graphic, in my opinion, than Walking Dead. But just in terms of the swearing, that I've kind of said my piece, but I feel like for season 7 they're going to run into problems because obviously for one scene at the end of a finale, okay, it's easy to put that into a Blu-ray and kind of wrap it up and say, okay, here's your extra version with the swears. But for season 7, this character is the main villain, and he is the guy that is going to be driving fear into the main characters. And one way he does that is with his dialogue. And if AMC is censoring him the whole time, it's going to make for a very, very annoying process. I mean, it's gonna. I think it's the biggest challenge. It's gonna be on the writers because they're gonna have to substitute for that lack of swearing and basically say, well, how can we diversify his dialogue and still give him that comic book touch without the one word that he says all the time? But it's frustrating. It's like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a media example, like something that a character has that, like, it would almost be like the Batman in Chris Nolan's films. If the Batman was fighting crime, but he didn't have his costume, like he didn't have the iconic cape and the mask, and like imagine he's just Bruce Wayne like you'd be watching it and being like, well, that's not how it is. Like, at least if you're going to portray Batman, you have to have his cowl on and you have to have him masked. That's his whole thing, right? It's kind of the same with Negan in a weird way, swearing, which I do realize is offensive to some people, but that is part of his character. And as a fan of someone who knew him from the comics, it frustrates me that now we move into the show and that element is seemingly lacking. And it is my hope. I think there's even a petition about this online, but I mean, obviously AMC is not going to change this because of a few, hundred signatures. But I honestly, if I had the choice, I would obviously make it so that AMC, like, why can't they put warnings? Like, they should have warnings on AMC. If they're going to make this exception, they should say, hey, like, just to be warned, like, don't go to watch The Walking Dead tonight at 9 o'clock because there's going to be lots of swear. Like, they should have extra warning messages in their programming, so if someone clicks on, they can know, oh, I can click off. There's also locks, like if you have Comcast or certain cable providers, you can lock stations that are a certain rating. I know when I was a kid, stations that were TV MA, I couldn't watch. It was locked. So even if I mistakenly clicked over, I wouldn't have been able to watch those channels anyway. So if that, then there's no, oh, I accidentally switched on the channel and I heard someone saying the F word. Oh, no, like, that won't happen. I know the other part of it is that advertisers get into a fit because of it. And it's funny because the law technically says that, like, FCC and everything, that cable, like, the cable networks can use the F word. Breaking Bad has got around it in some ways. They've used it a couple of times, but they've omitted, like, the U sound. Like, they've said the word, but they kind of bleep it out, like, very briefly. But you still get the effect of the word to some degree. And again, and there are certain, major points in Breaking Bad where a line like that's necessary. Like, if a character's on his last legs dying, like, why is he not going to say the F word? He's going to die anyway. Like, it just, like practical. Practical, if we want these shows to portray an artistic value and portray realism, like, that should be allowed, because anything else is sugarcoating, and it's, protect the children. It's like, well, again, there's systems in place so you can do that. So you can enjoy entertainment your way, and then other people can enjoy entertainment in the way they want to. So I don't like this system where we have to suffer because the artistic value of the show is lost in regard. And it's frustrating, as I've probably voiced 500 times now in this video. It's annoying. And I obviously rally that they include all of the swears. Obviously, they're already underway filming season 7, so who knows. But I don't know, like, having him, I know in the finale he used the word shit, like, a lot. Like, he said shit, like, a lot. Like, that was, like, kind of his substitute swear. But Abraham has had the, like, shit has kind of been Abraham's swear word, you know? And for a long time now, actually, Abraham's had creative swears. So I don't know if, you know, if, quote unquote, if he is the victim, maybe they'll transfer his witty, foul-mouthed dialogue over to him. Who knows? I'm not sure what substitute they're going to do. There are lines that are really good in the comics that don't use the F word, but 90% of the time they do. So regardless of what way you spin it, it's going to be a problem. And you've probably seen just in this video alone, as you've been looking at the images, as I've been talking and you're looking at the images in the video, you're probably saying like, oh wow, you're probably either laughing your ass off or agreeing that, yeah, there's a lot of good lines that probably can't be portrayed because, you know, they have the F word in it. And it's, I don't know, I think Kirkman said in an interview that he did a lot of this stuff because he didn't think the TV show would ever tackle it, or they would be able to work around it. But I don't know what his forethought was. Like, I don't know in the back of his head when he created a character who swears it says the F word all the time. I don't know when he thought, oh, because what was it, 2012? Because Negan's first appearance was in 2012. So The Walking Dead was into its second season when this character was introduced in the comics. So, like, he probably, like, should have, like, thought to himself, like, gee, like the show will eventually get to this point down the road. Is this a good idea? But, I mean, again, I don't think it should have been censored, in my opinion. Again, like, I don't want Kirkman to do that. I wouldn't have wanted Kirkman to have gone back in time and said, oh, maybe I shouldn't have had him have the swears. Because, again, the swears makes the character. It's part of who he is. And it adds to the essence of the character, his development, who he is, everything. So, alright guys, that's it for this vlog. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are on the use of foul language. Would you like to see more of it in Season 7? What did you think about it at the end of Season 6? Are you hyped for the dialogue that will be in the Blu-ray version? I might actually do a reaction video just for that, because you guys are going to see me laughing so hard. I'm going to do a reaction video of the foul-mouthed language in the Blu-ray version, because I won't have seen it. Like, obviously, it's the same scene in the finale, but it's going to be a little different. The tone of it, like the way, even Nicotero has said this, that because of the F word, it changes the way, the arc of how, like, his dialogue is said. Like, the beat. There's a beat to it in the finale, and the beat's changed because of that. So I will be interested to see how that changes. And I will be, you know, obviously reacting, and I think that'll be a good video to release for you guys. Keep the content consistent. I want to keep these vlogs consistent until we reach Season 7. So, alright, that's it. Thank you, and see you for the next one.